was thinking about some stuff, some theories about the world at large, mostly the supernatural world that well, not all of us, but some of us believe in. And I came to the conclusion after a good deal of thinking and a lot of contemplating, serious contemplation about the world, that God is a content creator and Jesus, he was an influencer. Now, the second one you've probably heard somewhere before. I think I've heard it before somewhere. But God is most definitely a content creator, created this world. We are all merely the content of God's YouTube channel. And the thing is, you get sent to hell if you are content that can't be monetized. So, if you say the F word too early in a video, you get sent to, eternal damnation. But if you say the one that ends with a K, you go to hell. If you say the one that ends with a T, you might have a chance of getting into the pearly gates, as it were. And I think God and Jesus, I think that would be a good fight. I want to see a death battle between God and Jesus. Personally, my money's on God, but it could go either way. You never quite know how much power he has. Maybe Gohan could be Goku. Maybe water into wine. Maybe that's what else can he transform? Who knows, right? Anyway, God and Jesus in a death battle. Possibly God winning. I think most people's money would be on God, but you never know. Some people have wild cards. They throw them out. Yu-Gi-Oh! I guess in Death Battle, when they compare the feats of each character, so that oh yeah, this person did this, so they're this strong. This person did this, so they're that strong. Yeah, they'd have to do all that. And then you could figure out, whose feats are more powerful. Yeah, God created the earth, but maybe spreading love and kindness would beat him and kill him in a death battle. Yeah, what are Jesus' feats? What are his feats? What else did he do? What sort of physical accomplishments did Jesus have? I don't actually know because I haven't read enough anything Christian, so. But if anyone knows, you're legally obligated to tell me. What are his feats? I think Jesus would have had a foot fetish. Remember how many people wore sandals back then? Just imagine how many more foot fetishes there were when feet were more visible. Or maybe the fetish only developed after feet were less visible, because then it became a coveted thing. Maybe that's the case with foot fetishes in their history. The genealogy of foot fetishes. That was Nietzsche's book. That was what it was called. The genealogy of foot fetishes. Nietzsche, a very well-known foot fetishist. The Overman was originally meant to be a foot fetish advocate, and that's what it would mean to go out into the world and become the superior man. You don't care what anyone thinks about your foot fetish. Jesus is cool. But you know who's actually cooler than Jesus? SpiderMan. SpiderMan's my favorite. He's a working class hero, He's also my favorite child superhero. I like it, yeah. A child superhero Spider-Man. I like just picturing Spider-Man as like a 9-year-old. He's like in the 4th grade, and he has to It's like find his way to the bathroom when something happens. Spider sense goes off. He has to like pretend to shit his pants and like go to the bathroom and change and then go out and save the day. I would read a comic where Spider-Man was a 9-year-old, but here's the twist, right? It's like kid Spider-Man, like the chibi kind of thing, but also every villain is the same age as before. So they're like 30 years old and they kick the shit out of this 9-year-old. Yeah. So that's my pitch to Marvel Comics. I might just steal the pitch myself and then independently publish that comic with a 9-year-old battling just the villains. I just started thinking about how many Spider-Man villains were like old dudes. But yeah. I think now is the time for my obligatory Venom Black Lives Matter joke. And this is the joke. Venom, black. Black Lives Matter. That's my joke. Anyway, what's interesting about Venom and that very obvious joke that I could make is Venom, I think Venom just represents something that Spider-Man doesn't want to deal with. And Venom is first off, Spider-Man, he dresses in red and blue. So what Spider-Man is effectively he cosplays as police lights. He's LARPing as police lights. And he wants to stop Venom. And Venom doesn't do anything bad. Venom's a nice guy. He just hangs out. But he's a big, muscular dude, and he's dark. But, Spider-Man wants to stop him. And, Venom represents something Spider-Man can't abide by, which I just said. Venom is a large, muscular, black being who is also a collective movement. How he says, we are Venom? Exactly, he's collective. He's a populist. Venom wants what's best for the people. Spider-Man, not so much. He's police lights. He's LARPing as police lights, so he's got to stop that. He's got to put a stop to it. Interesting thing about Venom, though, is that, when he loses his, black skin, then he's like normal citizen Eddie Brock. That's just interesting thing. Spider-Man hates him so much. It's like making web batons and trying to beat the shit out of Venom. We live in dark times. Coronavirus is good. Everything is going well. It's really funny how much cops like the Punisher. I think Punisher would probably try to kill whoever killed George Floyd, unless Punisher is like a bootlicker and we don't know about it. But the Punisher would not give a fuck. The Punisher, he just kills people for fun. That's what the Punisher does. Little known fact about the Punisher, when they originally made him, I think it was Steve Ditko. I don't actually know. But when they originally made the Punisher, he was the Funisher. Because what he did was he killed people for fun. And his origin story was that just a regular guy who came back from the military. But he had such a twisted sense of humor after all that he saw that he couldn't really relate to anybody anymore. No one really got his jokes. So, after a long time of sort of feeling ignored and unknown, he decided to dress up as the Funisher. And he didn't have a skull at first. He had a clown instead of a skull. It was like the clown from Twisted Metal. It was like that. That was the Funisher. And he would just go around, playing practical jokes, like shooting people in the foot, little fun things like that. He just bash people on the shoulders with the butt of his gun, just try to dislocate it. He's a very goofy guy, and he wore like this trench coat, like a classic Punisher kind of look, but it was like a rainbow trench coat. It was like it was really bright and eccentric. That's what he did. And sometimes he would take off the trench coat and like try to hang people with it. Not completely, not like to the point where they're dead. This was the Punisher before he would actually kill people. So yeah, that's what he would do. He would take his trench coat off and like wrap it around your throat, and then just like start pulling really hard. And then just like if you try to pull it off, like he'll just shoot you. He would just shoot you, So what are you gonna do? You see this guy, he clearly has guns in his holsters. He's trying to choke you out with this rainbow trench coat. I mean, you're not gonna be able to do anything, really. So, he's just gonna laugh in your face when he's choking you out. He's gonna keep saying, the Funisher, while he's doing it, like whispering in your ear, the Funisher, the Funisher. This is very funny. I'm the Funisher. Yeah, that's who he was. And then, Marvel had to come in. The executives came in. They're like, hey, man, you can't have this clown just choking people out. It's confusing for the kids. It's generating more clown fear among the children. So you got to change it. So they're like, okay, fine. No Ditko and the writers. Well, I'm assuming it's Ditko. They just went, all right, fine. He kills not cops, he kills criminals. Fine, he murders them. We'll do the boring thing. You're gonna ruin our character. But I'm sure the Funisher is somewhere in the database. Just never was published. They never fully gave the go-ahead. But he's out there. All you have to do is find the Marvel archives. And I'm telling you, they're on like 332 Lawrence Avenue in, I think, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you go there, you can find the Funisher archive. And I'm not saying break in, but I am saying you could get it and you could sell it for a substantial sum of money.